If you'll listen to me for a while, I'll relate the tale of a boss and his terrible fate. Conclusions, if any, are left up to you to draw for yourself, but I tell the tale to show for the main how bosses react when the bite is put on them in a sense or in fact. I worked with a fellow, Snowy by name, employed by a bloke in the contracting game. And the job we was doing when the event I tell you of happened was laying cement, curbing and gutters up in St Ives, where the country is sandstone and the funnel web thrives. One morning where working, Snow put down his pick and pulled his tobacco pouch out of his kick. The boss, who's failing, a bad one at that, was doing his block at the drop of a hat, saw Snowy's makings and screamed out, "You blokes, I'm not gonna pay you to roll your own smokes." Snowy continued like the boss wasn't there, rolling his smoke with unusual care, and lighting it up said, "A good cigarette. I can't afford Tailors on the money I get." Well, the boss went berserk, said the dough was all right, and that Snow could get his at the office that night. We started back working, but just in a sense, things what they were and the feeling so tense. Snowy was clearing rocks up ahead and breaking all records for swinging the lead. So the rest of us levelling and boxing behind was slowed down to nothing, though we didn't mind. But the way things was going, there was no way we'd pour when the ready mix came at 20-4. And the boss, who was wondering whether or not it might have been best to sack Snow on the spot, reasoned that now all he could do was to go up in front and start clearing too. They worked there together for an hour or more, when all of a sudden a mighty uproar came from up front. We all looked around, there was Snow and the boss both down on the ground. We got them apart, they'd done no real harm. Then Snowy said, "Boss, have a look at your arm." We all looked and saw by one of the veins a red spot and well-squashed spider's remains. The boss, shaking who wouldn't, asked Snow if he'd seen what species the spider that bit him had been. "It was a funnel web," said Snow, "and no risk. A female for sure, and as big as your fist." Dead set the boss went the colour of chalk, and gazed at his arm, too startled to talk. Of course Snow took over, the poor boss was thrown. Snow sent a bloke to the corner to phone for an ambulance and to cut down the delay. Said we jump in the car and meet it halfway. The boss finally asked, was there some antidote? Snow said not really, but they cut a vein in your throat and let all the blood out, bleed your bone dry, then put new stuff in, it's at least worth a try. Then he whispered to me behind his held hat, who was really a huntsman, but we won't tell him that. We got the boss in the back seat, more dead than alive. I jumped in with him, Snow said he'd drive. Drive Snow he did, talk about go. By comparison, Jack Brabham would even be slow. We were going the wrong way, the boss noticed, but Snow said it's all right, I know a shortcut. 'Cause he'd drummed me before, so I was awake. But the boss's heart fell with each wrong turn we'd take. And the wrong turns were many, but somehow we drove up every dead end from St Ives to Lane Cove, till finally getting on the right track, we picked up the ambulance on its way back. When the ambulance got to the hospital gate, a stretcher was brought, but the boss wouldn't wait. for red-eyed from weeping, a pitiful sight, and all sense of reason thrown over to fright. He frantically pushed the orderlies by, screaming, funnel web, save me, I'll die. Then tore into outpatients, fronted the nurse, and if things were bad now, they were bound to get worse. For he rose in the air, then he fell to his knees, when the nurse answered, yes sir, take a seat please. And Snowy, to my mind, a bit overdone, said, have a smoke while you're waiting, here I'll roll you one.